Okay, in station number 1, you are going to be evaluating functions by using mappings. The learning target is I can evaluate a function by examining a mapping. You have a series of questions for questions number 1 and 2 about this mapping and this mapping right here. As you go through station number 1, the questions we would like you to be asking yourself are, which part of my mapping is my domain? Which part is my range? And also to look to see if you are, am I looking for y value as my final answer, or is it an x value? And then lastly, how do I determine if a mapping is a function? So let's look at this mapping right here. If we look, we have set A and set B. The left part of our mapping is our x values. The right part is our y values. So whenever we think of x, we should think of domain and inputs. Whenever we think about our y values, we should be thinking about our range or outputs. So the first thing we need to do is figure out, is this mapping a function? If we look, this mapping is a function because none of my x values repeat. When I plug in 2, I only get one number. When I plug in -3, I only get one number. When I plug in 3, I get one number. When I plug in 7, I get one number. So this is a function. No x values repeat. B says determine the domain of the mapping. Well, we know our domain is our x value, so we just list out the x values that are used. So 2, -3, 3, 7. So our domain is 2, -3, 3, and 7. The range of our mapping is simply our y value. So in this case, our range is 9, 0, and 8. And remember, your numbers do not need to be in order. D says determine the value of f of 3. So if we remember, this right here is an x value. So everywhere I see a 3 in my x column, I'm going to follow. So I go to the number 3 and I follow my arrow and boom, I hit 8. So I can say f of 3 is equal to 8. Question E says, for what values of x does f of x equal 8? So in this part, we're actually being told what y is equal to, and we know y is equal to 8. So we're going to go to our y part, which is right here, and then we're going to travel backwards. So when I travel backwards, I hit 3, and when I travel backwards, I hit 7. So x is equal to 3, and x is equal to 7. That's how you approach these problems.